The human brain is fascinating. It is so complex, so intricate. The most critical time in the development of a brain is from ages 0 to 5. The brain of a child fires almost twice as fast as that of an adult, and patterns are established that will influence you the rest of your life. I'm Corey Mills. I want to know what I can do to help children learn. And to do that, it would be helpful to know how brains learn best.
I did it.
That's why I'm here in Stillwater, Minnesota. I'm going to talk to brain development expert Rich Melheim. Come on. Hey, Rich. I want you to tell me everything there is to know about the brain.
Okay. Sit down. No one knows everything there is to know about the brain. It's this amazing, beautiful, complex, integrated mystery. 100 billion neurons all chattering at the same time, as many neurons as all the stars in the Milky Way galaxy in the night sky. A quadrillion connections in these neurons, as many as all the phone calls made in the last 20 years, all synchronized and moving around in this beautiful, suffice it to say, it's pretty complex.
Wow.
When you want to think about the brain, here, put your knuckles together and your thumbs together. This is a model of the human brain. The thumbs in your model here represent the medulla, which is the involuntary nervous system. The fight or flight or freeze mechanisms are housed here. If a child comes into your space and they're worried, they're anxious, they're nervous, it's the first day, they feel anxiety separated from their parents, if you don't diffuse the fight or flight, you're never going to get into the deeper part of the brain wherein all your deeper memories are housed. The cerebellum is in charge of instincts, feelings, emotions. The emotional center of the brain is a filter for all the rest of your thought. And so again, if you don't make the kid feel at home, comfortable, I want to be here, you got to open the kid before you open the book, or you might as well not even open the book. So we have the medulla, the fight or flight or freeze mechanism here. We have the cerebellum, where all of your instincts happen. And there's an even more amazing part on the outside here that makes you you, that makes you aware of being aware, where all your art and all your music and all of the height of what we think of as human is housed. And that is called the neocortex. So there's short-term memory and there's long-term memory. Short-term is things that you remember in the short term, and long-term, things you remember in the long term. Getting them from here to there, pretty important thing. So, what did you do this morning? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. I got up at 6:15. I hit snooze once. Went downstairs, had breakfast of peanut butter toast and orange juice. Went back upstairs, got dressed, went back downstairs, grabbed my keys off the coffee table, grabbed my wallet off the coffee table, walked out the door, got in my car, turned it on, I drove.
Okay, you do remember a few things. What do you remember about December 9th, 1983? Not much too memorable. You probably do remember where you lived.
Yes.
Okay, you remember people who were in your house?
Mm-hmm.
You're being bombarded, your senses are being bombarded all the time with all kinds of information you're not consciously aware of. If you were consciously aware of everything, you'd go nuts. Every sound, every smell, every taste, every distraction. Some children have a problem with distractions. They're not able to filter out. In the normal, healthy human brain, you're only consciously aware of about 1/10,000th of all the stimuli that's going on around you at any given moment. And so you got to get from the short term to the long term.
So how do we get children under 5 to have information move from the short-term memory to the long-term? Let's take a look.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, my name is Melissa, and these are my kids. And we're going to show you some really practical ways that you can put into practice what Rich and Corey have been talking about. So we're going to go visit some of my friends and even my pediatrician and just put all this into practice. One of the things that's really important for the littlest ones is just face-to-face time. It sounds so simple, but it's really vitally important. It's how they learn language. They don't learn language from the television or from, robotic voices on toys. That's not how they learn it. They learn it from you and from their caregivers. Finger plays are one of our favorite things to do because it's multi-sensory because you're saying words, but you're also doing actions. That's what finger play is. It's a little nursery rhyme, and then you do some actions to it. And so we're going to show you some of our favorite ones. Let's show them the Itsy Bitsy Spider.
The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout again.
Yay! Let's show, this is the beehive one. It's good for even ages 1 or 2, pretty young. They like this one. Here is the beehive, but where are the bees? Hidden away where nobody sees. Watch and you'll see them come out of the hive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Anything that ends with tickling is good. But when you have a baby, you are helping them move. They're not really moving themselves, so you could do a game like Wheels on the Bus, and you could do like this. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 swish. The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 all through the town. One of the things you can do with even the youngest child is baby massage. In fact, our pediatrician recommended it to us. Touch is so important. There's so many studies that have been done on that. And baby massage is just a great fun way for you to bond with the baby. It gets oxygen flowing, it gets their muscles moving, it helps them learn that they're secure. Being held and being touched and hearing your voice, this is how they know that they're okay, and they feel like they can take a little bit of a risk and try something new and maybe try to talk, maybe try to use their voice, maybe try to reach out and grab something. And if they fail, that's okay. They know they're secure, they know that you have them, you're taking care of them.
What's up for my daughter Kate?
Okay, I'll watch out for your daughter, Kate. Playing isn't just them being silly or just being goofy. Playing is them learning how to live. It's them practicing what they see in real life. What are your baby's names?
Marshmallow and Parshmallow.
Marshmallow and Parshmallow? Oh, those are beautiful names. Okay, you drive. Oh, watch out for that tree. Oh, good driving. Oh, here we are. Pretending. It's cheap. It's free, really. It's great for their brains. They model what they see in the world, and that helps them learn. It's multi-sensory. They're doing it with their whole bodies and their whole environments. It's totally what the thalamus needs to get things from short-term to long-term memory.
Now let's talk about the thalamus, which is really a major gatekeeper. We'll use the metaphor of a girl trying to get into a really trendy club. She walks up to the door, and the bouncer's job is to keep her out, just like the thalamus' job, keep all of this information out. If she just walks up and says, "Let me in," he might not let her in. What if she walks up and a bus goes by with her picture on it? He looks at that and says, "Oh, this must be somebody." And as she walks up to the door, people are screaming, the fans are going nuts. Ah! What if she has a really nice cologne on and a cute little black dress? All the different ways that you can hit the senses will let the gatekeeper say, "Okay, this must be important, come in." You have to tell the brain, "This is important, let us in."
Really?
For instance, your ears are processing up to 10,000 bits of information per second. Your eyes are processing 7 billion bits of information. All of the stimulus coming from all these different parts.
That's too much information.
Precisely, too much information. There's just too much information. So the thalamus has to say, whoa, I'm not letting all this stuff through. The thalamus is the gatekeeper, and it says, I'm only going to let what's important through. Try to teach me some. Convince me that I should let it go through the guardhouse into this wrinkled neocortex because there's just too much information. Don't you just teach the lesson. Together, sing the lesson, dance the lesson, art the lesson, draw the lesson, laugh the lesson, touch the lesson, taste the lesson.
That's cool.
If you do a brain scan when a child is just listening to you, you might activate 5% of the human brain. If you do a brain scan when they're looking at something, you're activating between 25 and 33% of the brain, depending on who you're looking at. If you put the eyes and the ears together, if you put the eyes and the ears and the smell together, if you put the eyes and the ears and the emotion together, if you put all of these things together, suddenly there's a compelling argument. So you see, a multisensory approach is really important for that gatekeeper bouncer, the thalamus.
Ah, I see.
And it's very important for that gatekeeper bouncer, the thalamus.
Yeah, you just said that.
Exactly. And repetition is important.
Oh, it's So let's see what it looks like for ages 0 to 5. Let's see what it looks like for ages 0 to... Okay.
Thanks, Corey. Anyone with a 2-year-old knows that repetition is so important. All they want to do is repeat things again and again. They want to go down the slide one more time, or they want you to answer their question one more time. It's how they learn, it's how they process. So we have just a few practical tips of things that you can do to help your child have the repetition that they need. The first thing is be patient. And you can't expect a child, especially at this age, to learn something the first time or the second time or even the 10th time you show them something.
You turn it like this.
I turned it.
You turn it. Like that. All done.
And remember, they need repetition. The second thing is add variety. If you're doing the ABCs over and over and over, well, maybe sing them for a while, then maybe read them in a book, find them in building blocks, find the ABCs there. The variety helps you and the repetition helps them. Remember, they need repetition. The third thing is patterns. You want to create patterns in their lives. You know, when they get up in the morning, you do the same things. When they have snack, you do the same things. Maybe you always have snack after they get up from a nap. Or maybe at bedtime, you always, first you brush your teeth, then you put your pajamas on, then you read a book, and then you go to bed. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Patterns are just another form of repetition. And remember, they need repetition. The final thing that you can do is to have music. Music is great. It's full of patterns, it's full of repetition. Think of it, scales, rhythm is pattern. Think about how easy it is to remember something that's been put to music. Well, put that to use with your kids. Make up a song about their name, or about your address or your phone number, maybe a piece of information you want them to remember. Remember, they need
repetition.
Exactly. And then there's a third emotional gatekeeper inside your brain that relates to the neocortex. And we have to deal with this emotional gatekeeper or we will never teach a child anything. It's a little almond-shaped organ deep inside the brain. Almond-shaped little deal, the amygdala.
Gross.
That was a real almond.
Oh.
In fact, some would say that unless you set them up emotionally for learning, the moment that they walk in the door, you are not going to mark anything for long-term memory other than, I'm not here, I'm not safe, I don't want to be here.
So it's almost like you're preparing them to learn more than you're actually teaching them.
It's a big part of it. You literally have only about 5 seconds when a child walks into a room to set 5 neurotransmitters in your brain ready to say, I'm safe, I want to be here. There's adrenaline. You've heard of adrenaline. That makes you alert. There's noradrenaline. It's sister chemical that opens up the capillaries. Epinephrine, vasopressin, ADHD. Suffice it to say, there are 5 chemicals waiting in your brain when you walk into a new space so that you're either going to say, yep, or no, forget it. They used to talk about fight or flight. It's fight or flight or freeze, and I'm not going to learn anything. So what can you do to set that stage that says, I am happy to be here? The first thing, a child walks through the door, what are you doing with your eyes? The eyes are the window to the soul. If your eyes are saying, I'm so glad that you're here. We're going to have fun today. If you can look at them. Some people have that in their eyes. They can look at you, and the moment you see them, you think, oh, I must be okay. I'm safe. I want to be here. And to hear your name and to be given, how are you today? I can hardly wait to have you around. All powerful stuff. So your eyes, your impression, the space you teach in itself. Our world is full of so much clutter, and kids who have autism or ADD and different things, they have a hard time with clutter. So I'd say clear away the clutter. Clear the clutter from you. You can have a rich environment without having a lot of clutter, and pull out those things that you really want them to focus on right at that particular time.
All right, let's check in with Melissa.
Thanks, guys. You know, since it's so important for a child to want to learn, let's talk about a few practical things you can do to instill that joy of learning into a child's life. One of the first things that you can do is to associate books with fun. You know, even when they're so little that they're not patient enough to read through a whole book, you can still have fun with a book. You can let them flip through the pages, or you can skip pages to make a book short enough for their attention span. Any of that stuff is okay. When a child associates books with fun, they associate reading with fun. And when they associate reading with fun, the next step is they associate learning with fun. And isn't that the goal? The second thing you can do is to help your child have early success, because when they succeed and they feel like they accomplish something, when they do accomplish something, that helps them want to try the next thing and try the next thing. So those early successes are important. If you have an older child who's learning how to get dressed by themselves, or maybe put their shoes on for the first time, you know, so what if they put them on the opposite feet? Or maybe their shirt's backwards. Oh, who cares? Just they got their shirt on by themselves. That's an accomplishment. Celebrate that with them.
Keep going. Keep going.
And when they feel that sense of accomplishment,
Oh, look at that.
they're going to want to go for the next thing. The third thing is practice narrative skills. That's not as complicated as it sounds. It just means telling a story, narrating a story. Every time you ask a kid, what did you do today? You're asking them to tell a little story. When they say, I went to the zoo. Grandma was there. Grandma bought me ice cream. That's great. That's a story.
What are they doing?
You
They're eating.
What are they doing?
know.
They're eating now.
They're eating now.
But they're eating blueberries too. That's good.
That makes them really interested in what's going to happen in this book. What's going to happen next? How is it going to end? I don't know. I have to find out. And that all starts with them learning to tell their own story.
Wow, I cannot wait to get back and incorporate all this stuff.
Well, I hope you've learned a lot about the brain today, but just remember the most important thing is to create an open, caring, honest, fun, positive environment so the child can grow.
I already do that.
Now you know why.
All right.
Almond?
Yes. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Wow, that was amazing. That's definitely going to help with my kids. And hopefully it'll help with yours. That's why we're doing it. Thanks for watching.
Do you want to do some of your nursery rhymes?
Yeah.
Okay. Should we do Jack and Jill?
No, I can do it. Foxy, have you any woe? Yes, sir, 3 big four. One for the master, one for the Dane, and one for the little boy who lives down the lane. Baa, baa, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack rolled down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Them dab who passes. No, that's not how it goes.
Then up Jack got?
No. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Jack got to home to trot as fast as he could keep. To them double packs the knob with vinegar and brown paper. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The blue dog left the seashell spoon. And
the dish.
And the dish ran away with the spoon.